I am Optimus Prime. In 2007, after a hiatus, I returned to the pop culture scene in Michael Bay's Transformers. Since then, I've spent the last 10 years dominating everything from movies, to cartoons, to toys, and even video games. One game in particular is Transformers the Game. Let's see if it honors the story of my return to the mainstream. Let's see if it's just like the movie. The game begins similarly enough, with Blackout and Scorponok attacking a military base. Then we get our first real change when we see Bumblebee and the Autobots arriving to Earth together. In the movie, it's implied that B arrived years earlier. It's even suggested that the Decepticons have been here for a long time, but in the game, it seems like they're just showing up. Also, there's a lot of extra Autobots and Decepticons in this game. They are apparently drones, so robots have their own robots? I don't know, none of these assholes are in the movie. So the movie, for the most part, tried to go with the idea that they were robots in disguise. The Transformers don't really reveal themselves unless they're alone or if they need to battle. Until the end, of course, when the stakes are raised. In the game, though, they're having very public battles early on in the story. They only seem to transform to get to the next location faster so they can reveal themselves again and blow more shit up. Also, there's no scene in the movie where a Transformer beats up enemies with a giant swordfish, but there definitely should have been. I mean, it can't be dumber than the Mountain Dew bot. One welcome change is the game focuses more on the Transformers. The only human characters from the movie that appear on screen are Shia and Megan Fox's character, and only Shia comes back to do the voice.
What? That's my car?
Oh, where can I get one like that?
He's buying us time. Come on, run!
As always, Peter Cullen returns as Optimus, and honestly, their versions of the characters are more heroic and more likable than the movies. I should also point out that this game captures the look and feel of the film. The characters look like their film counterparts, and their transformations are very similar. Even the bonus Cybertron level looks like the Cybertron briefly glimpsed in the flashback. The game mostly follows on the story, but the whole chase with Sector 7 is extremely dragged out. They end up having a violent chase across the city and even end up fighting Decepticons during it. Even Shockwave shows up 2 movies early, looking more like his cartoon counterpart and less like the Megatron knockoff with the giant dick as we saw in the 3rd film. Much like Dark of the Moon, his character amounts to nothing. This time, when Bumblebee is kidnapped, the Autobots genuinely try to save him instead of giving up right away like they did in the movie. We finally arrive to the Hoover Dam, where all the plot lines in the film converged. The dam section is also extremely extended and has so much devastation, even Michael Bay would think it needs to be toned down. Oh, and if you thought it was dumb that they kept the Allspark and Megatron in the same location, it's worse here. They literally have him standing in front of it. That would be like storing a nuke next to TNT inside of a cement mixer. Also, the frozen Megatron has the head before the character was redesigned. Thought that was interesting. Also interesting is the fact that they got Frank Welker instead of Hugo Weaving to be the voice of Megatron. Sure, that makes it closer to the show, but this analysis is if it's close to the movie, so points off for that one game. The final battle is tons of robots smashing into each other. The camera goes nuts a few times, and it's hard to tell what's happening or who anyone is. So yeah, it's just like the end of the movie. The last fight between Optimus and Megatron is very different. It ends on a rooftop instead of an intersection, and instead of Shia putting the cube in Megatron's chest, Optimus fuses it with his fist and fucking annihilates him. But only if you're playing as the Autobots. The Decepticon version has Megatron win and take over the Earth. He even does the iconic Lincoln Memorial pose from the cartoon, which would also show up in The Dark of the Moon. So Transformers the game. It's pretty damn close, and I would argue much better than the movie. So yeah, I'll give it to this one. Transformers the game is just like the movie. Now let's end this with a completely accurate Michael Bay style fight scene. Let's roll out!